Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 220 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and birthday girl. And today we have our players, same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. It's my birthday. I'm going to do whatever I want today. Nobody can stop me. And my first decree as birthday girl is if you don't have a heroic inspiration, you do now. Enjoy. That's yours.
Ho-ho!
If you have like a weird one where I'm like, you guys can make me roll the weird dice, does not count. Different thing. You get a normal one. Take your normal heroic inspiration. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys knew it's my birthday.
Happy
So let me
birthday,
go ahead
Julian.
and thank you. Let me do a recap real quick, and then we can all forget it's my birthday for a minute, and then
Only for a
remember
minute.
again. Just for a minute, we'll
Yes.
forget it's my birthday, and then we'll remember again. Uh,
Yes. There will be reminders at the midstream break and at the end.
So you guys, what are you up to? You guys are in Skull City. You guys are in currently communication with the Kiln, also known as Sindri, who, after you did like a little mission for him, has like, okay, half of the point of doing that was that I would show you the Kiln, which is the power source for Skull City. And also, you guys needed to check and see if just a giant robot is missing from this man's collection of giant robots. So you all go down beneath the skull and get to see the original kiln, which was made by Sindri's father. And it just doesn't vibe like Sindri, right? It seems very old school. And then you are brought to another level, which is more sleek, clean, uh, very advanced technology comparatively to what his father had made. Um, Honestly, not very long ago. It is an aggressive shift in technology. But that's also where you get to see Dagwood, who has currently been brought in to work on these projects and seems to be not looking super hot. Maybe of her own choice, maybe not. She seemed to not take food when it was given to her by Sindri, but Morden would take it. So take that as you will. You check on the big fancy robots, you see that they are there. These robots were made by the Valkyrie, which were a group of people that, like, during wars and skirmishes, they would come in after the battles and clean up the dead and help assist people going to Valhalla. So they're just helpful, and they disbanded after the war in the West concluded, and Sindri just has some of the remnants of it because it's part of his dad's collection. So he's just like, let me make sure that my cool action figures are still here. And you guys saw all of them. You talk to Dagwood a bit. Roshan does a bit of blink twice if you're in danger situation with Dagwood, and gets like something akin to a blink and is like, "Now, babe, hey, what if she doesn't know how to wink though? What what if she actually really tried and was like, I need help so desperately but can't wink? Um, you'll never
She
know."
she did have a couple chances to dispel that notion, what with the whole like vibing her thoughts for a little second thing.
She also is probably incapable of doing that if she wanted to.
Mm, true.
Um, uh, our girlies are hot, scary, cannot ask for help. That is the energy. Sometimes that's just the vibe you get with certain people. But Morden seems to be able to leave and go about as he pleases. Dagwood is not and cannot leave this area of the kiln. Uh, all of you go back about your business, with Sindri telling you that he does not think you should continue working with each other anymore, that he feels some discomfort there. And so Nyx, Roshan, and Keld go with Sindri to discuss this because they're like, "Oh, we wouldn't mind, you know. You are kind of firing us, so let's have our final meeting with HR." And is basically like, listen, all of you are connected to Ave, who I implicitly do not trust and I think had poor intentions. You guys did a ritual for him. It is hard to know where your loyalty lies. And he just does not feel safe as now all of his allies are slowly turning into what were Ave's allies. And he does not like that. He doesn't like that Dagwood is his ally. He does not like Rose is his ally. He does not like that you all are his allies. He's like, I'd really like us to be like mutual acquaintances and like cooperative, but this is too much Ave at the moment for me to feel safe. This is a lot. Um, because of my choices and Ave's choices, this is a hard thing to mesh together. Um, you all leave after that conversation after getting casually fired and told that it's just like, hey, the trust is just not here for us currently. Fen and Nana are flying as wind towards Jarlsbecker to go talk to Corrine, who is not upset at all. She is fine and happy. She is good and well. You guys are flying that way. Nyx, Roshan, and Keld, you leave Sindri's place and begin to go about your business. Uh, Rose is there, I suppose, saying her goodbyes. Roshan left immediately, and Nyx and Keld get to see her nose start bleeding and her body just give out, and she falls over the side of the walkway that you were on in the skull. Lucky for you, or I guess, lucky for somebody, is that uh, you guys are at the top of the skull. So there's probably just a couple more seconds that you guys could work with comparatively if you were a little further down. But you all are able to catch her with the assistance of magical hand and make Keld a big bird. Uh, and you go and you set Rose back on the walkway, safe and sound, where you can see like her, like somebody coming out of unconsciousness, where like the eyes are fluttering and like kind of like rolling back a bit. Um, is there anything anybody is doing in like that immediate moment, or is it like give it a second?
Well, probably squatting down next to her, giving her a second to wake up.
Yes. um, it does take a moment. About 10 seconds pass as she sort of comes into consciousness. She's gonna roll this with disadvantage. Okay, girly. Um, there's like a moment of quiet, and it sounds like she like swallows a sound and kind of like coughs and like clears her throat and like starts to try to sit up. Her eyes look very like unfocused, and she's just currently now just trying to stand. Like immediately starts trying to get up.
I think reflexively, Keld will try to prevent her from just getting straight up.
Okay. She cannot physically put up a fight against you doing that. So she is kind of like kept in like a sitting position.
Hold
As she
on
sort of
just a
like
minute.
she sort of like wipes at her face, and the spot where she wipes is kind of like near her mouth, which looks clean, but her hand comes back kind of with this like dark blood on it. It's not currently visible in that spot, even though you are sure that like if this happened, it would have like smeared across her face, but you cannot see it currently. You can just see sort of a buildup around like her nose, like where there was like a larger flow of blood. Uh, I'm I'm fine. I'm fine.
I don't know if I believe that. Clearly something's wrong here. What's going on?
Can at least get you back to your house.
I you see her eyes like slowly kind of like are she starting to able to focus now. I'd appreciate that. I'd like to go home. Yes. And she starts trying to stand again. This time she seems a bit less shaky getting up.
Keld will offer support.
Mhm. We will act as crutches.
She will actively use those crutches.
We slowly make our way to her place.
Roshan, what are you doing?
I think Roshan is awkwardly following behind since he's not helping be a crutch. He's following.
I'd say about halfway, like, to her place. She like begins to like loosen her grip on Nyx and Keld, and is walking on her own again, and like you can see is like um casting prestidigitation and like cleaning up just like from her hand, and like she does it a couple times. You don't see a lot of change, but she casts it a couple times. um i'm I'm fine. That was fucking embarrassing. Um, and is just now kind of walking ahead towards her home.
I don't know about embarrassing. It was concerning.
Um, she doesn't say anything else while you walk.
Mm. I think Keld will look back to see Roshan in tow. And maybe there's a little bit of relief, unless he's being sneaky.
No, Roshan is following. He's keeping an eye on his sister, but he also looks mad.
Hmm. Keld is a bit confused.
You could go talk to him while he's mad.
Yeah,
Maybe.
then Nyx and Rose can just fall over if anything happens. She becomes a big bird. It's fine.
I turn her into a small bird or something.
Mm.
Ah,
Not a
Just carry her
goldfish.
around.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Keld will fall back into step with Roshan for a minute as we're getting to Rose's place. What's wrong?
I think Roshan will stare at his sister and say, well, obviously nothing's wrong. She seems fine.
Hmm. She's clearly a bad liar. No, she
I
seems
think
good at hiding something.
I think Roshan will say under his breath, you can't help people who don't want to be helped.
Hmm. Maybe you can help them change their mind.
I'd love to.
I think he'll squeeze Roshan's shoulder and just walk in silence for a minute.
Yeah, it's quiet when they come upon Rose's. Where does Rose live? It's a place like Russ's.
Yeah, it's very similar to Russ's place. They're not like neighbors or anything, but they are not incredibly far from each other. Like, if there was a problem at Rose's place, I think Russ could be there in a round if he was so inclined. Like, if he really needed to be
Run
there,
across the roof.
he could be there. But you get to the door. She kind of like murmurs some thanks. Nyx, go ahead and roll. I'll take medicine or insight while you're kind of the person who is walking in step with her.
They're both plus 10, so 28 for medicine.
Neat. Um, so it's easy to say she's better than she was, right? They're better than unconscious. It's hard to tell if she is still actively bleeding. You know about the glamour that she wears, so it is obviously obscuring things. You don't know if that's still happening, especially with the occasional little prestidigitations. Maybe that tells you that it is. Um, there is a tremor to her hands that you notice. She is walking pretty steady on her feet, but her pace has slowed. So it seems that in an attempt to walk steady, she is walking much slower to do so, to appear to be walking normally. Her she seems to just kind of go in and out of focus a bit, is what you're picking up on. You don't think she's fully past this spell. So she gets to the door and sort of like turns around. Thank you for the escort. I'm good. I'll make a tea and lay down or something.
I'll make a tea. I can make the one I did last time, the one that helped with the pain and stuff. It's gonna try to open the door and go in.
Nick starts bodying this door, and Rose, I think, just kind of uncomfortably stuck in a moment of choice, like kind of just reaches up and like hands you the key to her home.
Thank you.
Um, Nick's, I'm assuming bulldoze is in. Um, who's going in? Who's not? Who's coming to this tea party? This very fun tea party. She keeps like being. She's like, I'm good, thank you. And then Nick's like bulldozes in, and she's like, huh.
Then Keld comes in.
Okay.
I think when she's left with Roshan outside or at the door, he will say, you gonna give me anything for this? Gonna let me help?
I'll say with your passive insight, you can see that she just kind of seems a little confused by your statement a bit. And she's like, made it to the door just fine. Thank you.
I think Roshan will attempt to hide a sneer. Let's see.
I'll roll against it.
It's a 19.
Ooh.
I'm not rolling my nat 20s for deception this week.
Not this week. Let's see. I think she has pretty okay insight. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe she doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, I think he sneers and is like, fine. Guess I'll see you around. And then he'll turn around and he'll start walking toward Pink's.
Okay. Rose stands outside for a moment while you two have gone in. I don't know how far in you guys have gone, or if you like went in the doorway and like were like like holding, like
Next one said, make sure you stay with her while she goes to the kitchen to start trying to make the drug tea.
Okay. So Keld would have probably been close enough to hear the conversation. And she stands outside for a moment, and she walks in. She's not hiding it currently. The look of hurt on her face. And door closes behind you. And there's just a moment where she stands there. and she breaks down weeping, just collapses in on herself and starts weeping.
Keld's gonna pull her into a hug and just hold on to her.
Just Nixon like looks out from the kitchen.
Like, okay, I'll come join the hug.
What, another one?
Yeah,
God
can't be that
damn,
far
okay.
into making things.
Yeah, you just found a tea kettle. You're like, okay. Oh wait, hold
Set
on.
that
Keld's
down.
reaction was just too slow as Roshan left. Otherwise, he probably would have tried to get him back, call him or whatever.
Yeah, and this probably also stops you in the moment is seeing her, and then just it is a full breakdown, just like weeping uncontrollably.
Mm,
Anyways, two people are missed and flying through the sky, making their way across the continent.
Having a good time, having a good time.
Um,
3 people. I think Rex is
yeah,
probably with
I
us.
was about to
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
about to list Rex there. He's always there unless told not to be.
That is true.
My note says Rangers plus Rex. So he's present
for it.
canonically.
Yep, I'm here for it.
You guys are flying to Jarlsbecker. Takes you an amount of time that is way too small. Not as fast as any of the fancy teleporting you've done, but much too quick and unsettling. Where do you guys turn back into corporeal people? Do you do it like inside like the walls of Jarlsbecker? Do you pick just like you go to a park or you outside? Where do you guys land?
Probably in the commercial district, like the shopping
Merriman
area.
Square
Yeah.
works for me. For a minute, you guys are just floating mist, just waiting.
We just hang out in an alley in between a food stall and somebody hawking bracelets.
This person holding on these bracelets like looks over at you and like and just kind of like mumbles under their breath like not again and like moves to another alleyway to get away from whatever problem they perceive this to be, because it seems they've had this problem before. What is it? Unclear.
Probably nothing.
But the three of you turn back into people. Jarlsbecker is your oyster. It's probably a bit later in the day. It's not like dark out or anything, but it is a bit later in the day.
Well, I had obviously planned to see Corinne and follow up on our last missive with her. I don't know if there's anything you wish to accomplish while we're here, but I'm not going to subject you to her.
Well, I think perhaps, Fen, it might be more appropriate to say I won't subject you to my being there. I understand I've been churlish in the past, and perhaps undeservedly so, and I think it best if you just handle Corinne as you believe is best, and if you require my assistance, please tell me.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe then Fen will give over a few coins to Nana. Secure us some rooms at the Hard Fiddle for the evening. If you find your way that way, if I make it there first, I'll do the same. Maybe we should meet up again towards the end of the evening. Without Roshan here, I'm not sure how for us to reach out to each other other than to agree. That's where we'll stay for the night.
I mean, if nothing else, we can always pay for a missive, a spell sent over their way just to inform them before the end of the night. And if there's any follow-up information they want, they can always send a spell our way.
If Fen glances at his coin purse and says, we might be able to send a message.
Well, I mean, I've got a bit.
Wasn't it like
some.
100 gold or something like that?
Yeah. I've got
Yeah.
100 gold.
Yeah.
I have like almost 100.
Yeah, I've got Fed's got like 100 and some change, but like
You guys
that's a
can
lot
send a
for
couple
a
messages.
message.
Mm. I mean,
I
if
think the
nothing,
messages were like 30, I think, if I
yeah,
remember
Oh, okay.
correctly.
All right. I thought that
yeah.
I remember them as being like more than I expected them to be, but
Yeah, I feel
One
like
of them,
30 is very aggressive for for a sending spell. But to get all the people to do it, you got to pay the wages, taxes.
yeah, true,
yeah, I just
true.
want them to make an honest living. That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as the people doing it, can afford to eat on their spell slots and
Mm-hmm.
have, paid time off and everything. They need benefits. I'm not going to
Listen, are
begrudge
they
them that.
technically being paid the worth of that spell? Perhaps not. But they're also not paying for like the ink and the paper. So,
The
you have to take that out
components.
of the
Yeah,
equation. So,
yeah.
it really kind of depends.
And they're
Uh,
not forced to keep their chamber pots at their desks either.
no, no, no. You can go piss outside in the alley if you're so inclined. Uh, but it sounds like Fen, you're going to start making your way towards Corine's.
Yep.
And Nana, what are you and Rex up to?
Well, Rex, was there any equipment that you had any need of either refreshing or resupplying or anything else that might need getting while we're here?
Um, Currently not anything I can think of. You recently very much stocked me up with um very good armor. So I am pretty set.
I'm very glad to hear that. In which case, would you prefer to find some activity to occupy our time, or would you like for us to find some repast before we need to find our way to our lodgings?
Um I'm fine with whatever, to be honest. I've never been out to Jarlsbecker before.
No.
Um so I'm content with whatever.
Well, if nothing else, allow me to show you a few things around. Nana would offer to, like, at least give him small tour, at least take him by Magisk Boutique so that he can meet the delightful proprietor there, and maybe the proprietor's child will be there. I have a feeling that would be a wholesome interaction for them. Outside of that, I think Nana would take him by a couple shops and then probably find a place to post up for a meal while waiting for Fen to conclude business with Kareen before we go to the inn.
Sure. The only place he buys anything at is Sweet Teeth,
Mm,
and ends up buying some candy there.
mm. For the little ones, I'd assume.
Have to bring back as much as you can, comparative to how long you're gone.
Of course, the emotional damages, I believe, need to be more commensurate, huh?
Mm. There is a little bit of sadness in his eyes. He's smiling, but there's a hint of it in there.
You miss
Um,
them.
of course, I could just be in the other room and miss them. So,
Yeah. I can understand that. By all means, if you notice anything that you think they would especially enjoy, I'd like to help make sure that they're able to get it. If you require any assistance.
of course, I'll wait and make sure you have the money for your sendings if
Mm.
necessary.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that later on in the evening. We'll see what we've got left in the coffers. If nothing else, I'm quite certain there's a few shops around Skull City that I could probably make good on that offer.
I mean, we
If
did
not
get
today.
we did get a couple toys, but
Hmm.
I won't complain about more. They won't complain about more.
I can't imagine they would. No. Um. I I actually wanted to ask you, Rex. How do you keep traveling forward, uh, away from home? Just what keeps you on the road when it's hard, when you miss them?
The first thing that comes to mind, and I can't say if the gut reaction is correct or not, but the first thought I always have is purpose and obligation. And I don't know which order they sit in, as my family gives me purpose and I have an obligation to them, but I also have purpose and obligation when it comes to my order. And maybe it's because I have fallen into an easy pattern where I have found a way to have both.
Hmm.
Do Does one of them get my full attention when they have me? Yes. But if I were to become an apprentice blacksmith and start from there, I would get to come home every night and see my family. And some days that sounds incredibly appealing. And then I wonder if I am not with my order and protecting where I can, if I am not fulfilling my obligations. And I suppose that gets me out of that mindset. I am sure at some point I will cave and I will see who needs an apprentice or who needs a few jobs done around town, if they need bar tables scrubbed or gutters cleaned. Um, I don't think I'm above the work. Helping people's helping people, but I've been in the order quite some time, and I was in it before I met my wife and had my children. So I think it's something, this is maybe not what you want to hear, but I'm trying to, I think, unlearn it. I
Hmm.
I'd love to one day not be doing this. I'd love to one day get to stop and be with my family. I just don't know when that is.
it's uh, it's actually funny. That's exactly what I'd like. That's the funny thing. Hmm. The more I see and the more I travel and the more I do and the more I realize I just want to be home. Uh, I'd like to be, and circumstances do not permit. Uh, I don't know. It, please, if at any point you feel that call and you want to be home, I would very much appreciate if you would be honest and tell me. And I will absolutely send you home. No qualms. No dishonor on you. No, no resentment from me. I, if you feel the time is right, then I want for you to be on the road back home.
I think I would bother you every day. I understand some of our current situation. Um, I think things happen for a reason. I believe in fate. I believe in being led by the universe. And I understand that I am in some way magically connected to this. I am magically tethered in some way to you and your situation. And I know that I cannot step away of my own accord. As there are some times where I feel as if your group is incredibly talented, does not need me. And I think, why would I be here? And it's that magical purpose. And I do not have much of a say, I feel, against that.
I hardly feel like that's fair to you or your family. It's not what I would want if I were setting the contract for one serving under me in my name for whatever reason. I I feel as though for the time being, I'd appreciate if I could if I could take some time to learn a bit from you and from what you've seen and found in your time with your order. I'd consider that well worth time spent with you following me, and if uh, if you'll allow that, once I feel like I've, I don't know, figured out something, then I'll gladly make sure that you can make your way home. I will not, I won't cheat you. I won't cheat your purpose, whatever this magical bond might truly be. But I don't disagree with you. There's a number of things many of the others in this group can do that are far beyond what I can do. And you've been traveling longer, but some of the things that we've faced, some of the things that we've faced, I would feel criminal for asking you to assist us with directly, particularly considering your family.
Well, lucky for me, I am not incredibly worldly and not very wise, so I'm sure I'll run out of wisdom to give quite quickly.
Fair enough. The better to send you on your way back home, the sooner. But I hope, if nothing else, you might at least be willing to teach me a game, perhaps? Something that you've passed the time with in your travels?
So, and he will go into detail um, about a game that he mostly plays with his girls as you guys go to get a meal. It's probably something Jack's adjacent, where multiple pieces on the board pick them up in rapid succession. Blah, blah,
Nice.
blah.
I see that.
Hand dexterity sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Sleight of hand thing. It's not Nana's worst subject. She's not any kind of fen, but, you know.
why did, let me give her a long rest real quick. Okay, sorry. Rose had temp HP, and I think I recall talking about that before, not knowing why she had it, and now it's gone. Okay. I was like, where'd you get that? What's that for? What's that for? What are you up to? Um, but you and Rex go and can get some food. Fen, you make your way to the gate to see Corrine. Um, they do not open the gate for you, but will send a message inwards that you have arrived.
I think on the way there, Fenn stopped by one of the fountains and looked at his reflection and saw that he still had his Skull City uh, get up on. So he tries to like change the glamour a couple of times
Mm-hmm.
until he decides on just making it look like a regular Fen set of studded armor. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
anything fancy. He tried to make himself look fancy, and then he just decided against it. So like that was probably like little 5 minutes of Fen like checking himself out, and nah, this doesn't work.
It's just an old couple who are like sitting on a bench and watching this guy's outfit just change like he's in a
Pink,
create a sim
blue,
for a video
pink,
game.
blue.
And they're just like, all right. And you kind of land on it, and it's just like, and you kind of, as you start to like walk off, you see like the old woman nod, like, yeah, that seems right. Um, Getting her validation in this moment as
Babushka
you
approved.
now stand at the gate waiting for Corrine, who, after about 5 minutes, you see the front door open as these two guards are just standing there, not even looking at you. I think they're still like just kind of like looking ahead, but they are just kind of looming next to you. Eventually, Corrine makes her way out, wrapped in a fur shawl, the click of her heels against the cobblestones as she makes her way over. And her face is pretty neutral. I would say that she's currently just sort of in a neutral face as she makes her way over and steps up to her side of the fence and looks at you. Hello, Fen.
My lady, I won't pretend to know your schedule, but was hoping maybe you could find time this evening to join me for a walk or a drink or a meal.
There's this slight like twitch at the corner of her mouth as it like tilts upwards ever so slightly. Fen, are you asking me on a date?
I just feel it's time we got to know one another better than we have. Seems thus far it's always one of us being very busy with other obligations, and I feel too often I'm stopping by just to ask a favor, and I don't think that's right. I would like to know more about you and give you an opportunity to know more of me.
You can see she's like mulling it over while you're talking. Hmm. And you have no obligations this evening?
No plans whatsoever this evening. Came here to meet with you. No
Hmm.
other purpose.
It has been like a slow increase of this smile. We haven't gotten to teeth yet, but we have gotten to at least a bit of raising on both sides.
We've achieved the Mona Lisa smile, guys. Mona
Yeah, we're
Lisa.
at a solid Mona Lisa is where we are currently, and she's unreadable. Um,
Mysterious and alluring.
I mean, to Fen, probably.
Yeah, she's like
Not
this. Fenn's like, yay!
not the most insightful of people, but
um, do you mind if I pick the place then?
that's fine. This is your town. You know it better than me by far. I would have suggested a place like the Hard Fiddle, but I mean, even with a name like that, it sounds like a vile inn.
Um, if I hadn't given y'all inspiration earlier today, I probably would have given you one for that. That one did it. So
Oh,
you can trade out your inspirations. You can trade out your birthday inspiration for violin, if you want.
violin!
Um, she looks at you for a moment, um, kind of contemplating. All right. Um, how about you meet me in Merriment Square in 45 minutes?
As you wish.
Um, I also heard through the grapevine that a couple of your companions are in town. If you are interested in having them be entertained in some way, they are welcome to join indirectly, if you understand.
Um, that's fine. I've no way to reach them other than to the plans to meet tomorrow morning. But
Mm.
uh, again, I'd really had just hoped that you and I could speak.
Oh, it would certainly be separate. And if you can't find them in 45 minutes, I am perfectly fine with that. I just didn't want anyone to feel neglected. But I'll let you make that call, and I will see you in 45 minutes.
I'll see you then, my lady.
And she turns and she walks back inside. The guards stand there silently, as if they were not privy to any of this.
This girl has a Fen alarm. She knew in the time that it took for Fen to walk from
Tell
the
me
square
the
to her
second
place.
he lands in this town.
Who he's with, where he's going.
If he's not coming straight here, kill him.
I'm keeping
There's an
tabs.
assassin who just like takes a step back and is like, "Good fucking job, bud. You live another day. Good choice. You're good thing. You went to that fountain, and I was about to, but you're fine for today." So Fen, you have 45 minutes. You're welcome to go try and find Nana and Rex if you want to, but you could also just keep it between you and Corrine fully.
I think he'll find Nana, if nothing, for no other reason than to extend Corrine's invitation, because Corrine put it out there. So, Fen will attempt to find Nana and Rex.
I'll say easy with a time limit of 45 minutes, probably easy enough with bird sounds or some shit, weird
Yeah.
whistles. I'm sure you eventually
Yeah.
can find each other.
We've got signals, and we've been around this town so many times.
Yeah, you guys only go to certain spots in town. It's either Merriment Square
Yeah.
or the Hard Fiddle. That's kind of y'all's setup. So it's like it's one
little
or the
bit,
other. You're
yeah.
closer to Merriment Square. You can start there. You find them eating. So
Yeah.
you find them pretty early on in your hunt. So you extend the offer as you are so inclined to do.
I'm not sure you need to be directly involved in the conversation or the meal, but Corrine did say that you're welcome to be proximate to us, if that means that I don't know where she's planning on going, but I'm sure there's good food there. Might make it easier for us to stay in communication. But not to commandeer your night. Rex's first time in the city, you're welcome to do either.
Well, what would you prefer, Fen?
I don't want you to feel like I'm not inviting you to. I don't want you to feel I'm being duplicitous. You don't trust her. I understand that. To some degree, maybe she understands that and distrusts you.
I'm certain she's read me like a book a dozen times over, so it's probably not hard for her to miss.
I don't want there to be conflict. Is my ends here.
I've no interest in throwing food, or causing any kind of scene. If Corinne has invited us, I would be fine with accepting her invitation, unless that would make you feel uncomfortable.
Really, I don't mind either way. I came here with a purpose, and was glad to have you along. I knew you probably needed to get out of the skull.
Yeah, I mean, stuffy for one thing. I'm feeling a lot more self-possessed. But definitely much the better for having some clear, clean air that is not however many dozens of degrees hotter than the ambient temperature of the season of the year.
I'm sure we're not missing anything there.
Not likely. Honestly, it seems like things are wrapping up pretty quietly. I mean, sounds like we're not particularly desired on the payroll for very much longer, which probably means we're headed out soon. Open and shut.
I'm sure our dealings with Sindri are at an end. There's no possible way our paths could cross further down the line.
Except
All
for the
is-
fact that one of us is married to one of his best men.
Even still, I'm sure all that's done and dusted. All of that.
Likely. I suppose we'll see. But in the meantime, I had no other plans. Rex, would you like a fancy dinner? I imagine we'll be at some other table separate from Fen and his lovely lady, but if you are interested in, I expect it will be some somewhat finer dining.
Fen blushes at the description of Karina as his lovely lady. Like, that's just not in his mind, really. Like,
Yeah, sure. Blush up to your ear tips, you simp. No, I'm kidding.
It's like a band. You can't say simp. I'm sure Twitch has moved past that, right? Right?
Probably.
We're done, right? We've moved
Yeah.
on.
I don't know. It
Um,
censors me anytime I cuss in the chat.
Really?
It does. Well, I can control which curse words can't be in the chat.
Well, at least we
Which
got
maybe
heck.
I could. I did not set the original curse list. I have not edited it, but I can.
Seems to be all my favorites.
All my favorites are
Aw.
off the table.
We've got to clear at least half of Greg's favorites.
We'll start a members on YouTube so that you can just sit there and say all of your favorite curse words.
Yeah.
Um,
Perfect. That's
Hi,
worth it.
I'm Greg. Here's all of my favorite curse words that I'm not allowed to type in the Twitch chat.
Here we go.
Stupid.
Oh, yeah.
But Rex is in a very fun position where he doesn't know the lore. So it's like he started watching like a drama in the middle, and he's like, okay, like he's sitting here quietly picking up on details, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, and he's like gathering info. So that's where he is, and he kind of is like,
Yep. Fair.
I have no plans for the night. I'll go wherever.
All right. In that case, sure. Then I think dinner with Corinne or in proximity to Corinne sounds perfectly fine.
So this extended curse word, it was held for homophobia. I just want you to know what the mod pop-up was for it.
Wait, what?
I don't understand the choice for that option, but that's what it is.
There's one of the 7 words in the middle there that I could see that
Yeah, maybe that one. I
Maybe
feel like I
that's the
have
one.
to swipe to allow just so we can all see
Do I
it.
need to pull up the Twitch? Okay, hold on.
You should, yes.
It's being held for homophobia. You can't see it on this month of June. You can't see it.
Yeah.
It's against the rules.
Twitch is being a real champion for the queer community here.
Yeah, they won't let you have 10 curse words strung together without spaces. Not in my house.
it's George Carlin's 7 words.
Uh,
Mm,
You know what?
George
you know what?
Carlin.
I'll allow it.
It's
I
a
said I'll
classic.
allow it.
It's a classic. It's grandfathered in.
I'll allow the homophobia this time.
But only for
once.
George Carlin and no one else.
May he rest in hell where I'm sure he is, and he's having quite a time. I'm sure what a time he's having there. Um, Feels like a tangent. 45 minutes pass. I don't know if you guys
Likely.
knew it's my birthday.
It is.
And I can allow any curse words in the chat if I'm so inclined on my birthday.
It's my party. I'll curse if I want to.
But 45 minutes passes. Corrine meets you in Merriment Square, and she is wearing like this heavy fur coat that goes down to a little bit above her ankles, so a pretty long fur coat. And you can see that beneath the coat, just slightly longer, looks like a sheer skirt. Are you all ready? And she's holding like a bag, like a larger bag at her side.
Yes, my lady.
I'm ready here.
She takes a moment to do pleasantries with Rex as she has not really met him, and kind of you all do the like, hello,
Yeah,
this is Rex
introduction,
Corrine, and you do that kind of thing. And
yes.
he do a little bow, and she's like, nice to meet you. That
Mm.
happens. I won't. I'm not here to talk to myself with pleasantries.
Yeah. It
hello,
happens.
hello.
We
I
just need
won't.
to know it happens.
They talk. You all move towards kind of deeper into Merriman Square, moving through the streets, and you arrive at a familiar building, a very drab little store that sells ink and paper.
Interesting.
You are led inside and make your way into the back. Rex I think, is taking all of this in for the first time and is like,
Yeah.
interesting, even more interesting. Like each thing is like, okay, all right, okay, cool, okay.
Yeah.
Like he's learning all of this on the fly as you are
I
brought
feel like-
into the back.
Yeah, Nana's a bit visibly surprised herself, I think, as we are progressing. Like, was not expecting the turn to this particular office. She recognizes it. I think that's obvious to Rex, but it takes a second. She's like, okay, interesting. All right. Still business as normal, isn't putting up a fuss, but obviously a little intrigued.
You are led to the back and to the teleportation circle, which Corrine steps on, and I'm assuming is followed by all 3 parties. And with a pull of a couple levers by the attendant, you are whisked through time and space aggressively and rapidly, landing on another teleportation circle. You can hear the sound of it. Sounds like heavy wind outside as she makes her way out. The new attendant holding the door open for her as she makes her way out. It's very warm in the space as you move through and out the front. And the door opens, and it's the sound of waves and wind on sand, and a sun beginning its descent downwards on a beach in hell. And that's where we're going to take our break.
We're having dinner in hell, boys!
Thanks for being here. How about you go get a snack and a drink, and we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Tan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Day School. We just took our 10-minute break. I'm not sure if you knew, but it's my birthday. In case you weren't
Jolly
aware,
birthday!
it's my birthday. So, I'm gonna blow out my birthday cake on my birthday for my birthday. There's
It's
only
your
3
birthday!
candles, but it looks like a torch on
Happy
stream.
birthday!
So, happy birthday to me. I'm gonna take my
Woo!
wish now. Wow,
You!
a
So
beautiful
pretty. Oh,
day.
that's a beautiful cake too.
Shout out to Gregory for beautiful cake.
Oh
Thank you,
yeah, Gregory.
Gregory.
Good
You can
job.
return to your box. You may return to your square whenever you like.
You may now teleport across time and space to return to your
Uh,
box.
I have made my wish. I can't tell you, or that's makes wish not happen. Those are the wish rules.
That's the rules. We don't make them up.
I think it was just somebody didn't want to wish for world peace and didn't want to tell anybody, and was like, "I can't tell you, it won't happen," because they wanted
Yeah.
just like a new bag or like their enemy to fall off a cliff and die. So you can't really just casually tell people about
Mhm.
that.
These wishes
I
are
am rambling,
usually
waiting
either,
for Gregory, even though he's not on the thing I'm going to do next, but like it seems
Mm.
polite to wait as he made me a birthday cake for my birthday on my birthday.
In your
um
house on your birthday.
in my house on my birthday for my birthday party on my birthday. uh
Mm.
he is struggling with the container the cake goes in, which I understand is a bitch.
Necessary,
Yeah, no,
but
she's
yeah,
she's
bad.
one of those like actual like cake holder things, and it has like little locks in the side.
Oh
Because we're
no.
bougie. We're in this
Right.
house. We care about baking, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to just put our cake wrapped up in some foil. No, no.
And you
She
can't leave
goes,
it uncovered or the cats will find
"Oh
you.
no, they can't have my strawberry cake. My
We can't
strawberry
allow
cake for
it.
my birthday on my birthday in my house on my birthday."
There he is.
Um, so welcome back, episode 220 on the Backseat Guys, blah blah blah. It's my birthday. Um, let's fly back across now an ocean and the continent and go over back to Skull City and a little nightclub called Pink's. Um, at this time, I would say it's like pretty early in the opening of Pink's. Like it's definitely like doors have just opened, but you are heading that way. What are we doing, Roshan?
I think Roshan first will, like, if the doors are open, he'll go in and he will get a calm down drink,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then he wants to just keep an eye on the crowd, paying specific attention to see if he can spot any blind eyes.
Okay.
And wants to keep an eye out for them tonight. And if he's not expecting to talk to them, but if they happen to come in, he would ask or just share a few words with Mood or Pink.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Ooh, that's bad.
Mm,
It's a natural 2, I think, plus 8, so a 10.
okay. Um,
This is not the Roshan of last week.
no, this Roshan is
Moody.
sometimes you're too in your own head. You're a little
Yeah.
a little too emotion at the moment to really be like top tier anything. Uh
Nana can relate.
but because originally you're like, I'll see them if they come in, and you kind of forget that it becomes like a throng of people, and you're like, okay, now it might be a little harder to tell unless they start causing a ruckus. Um, during this time, you know that Mood and Pink are both here. And they both come and are happy to like casually talk to you for a moment because they recognize you. Uh, Mood makes sure that your drinks are free, and you don't have to pay for it. And if you already paid for something, it's just a tip because she's not going to go to get it out of anything. So she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you tipped." Um,
I
but are you
think
just vibing, or are you talking to people, or?
Uh, Yeah, I think Roshan is vibing. He's grateful for the comped drinks, but will tip double instead.
Mhm.
Um,
As
and
is meant to be done
yeah,
when your drinks are free.
yeah. And I think he wants to just ask Mood uh, if I happen to encounter one of these blind eyes, and of course, if they start something, how far would be too far to go on in Pink's property?
Well, I don't set the guidelines for that. If I did, they would probably be different. Uh, but currently, we have a wonderful staff of maybe a couple extra bouncers on hand. And they are intent in removing them from the property. They are under strict orders not to start anything, but finish whatever you must. We do not escalate. And once we are off property, the event is done. So once they are removed, it is not something that continues outside of the walls either. Bouncers come back in. Hopefully, they stay back out. Rinse, wash, repeat as needed.
Perfect. Well, thank you for such excellent accommodation and for keeping everyone safe.
Okay. Um, uh, Mood seems in, I would say, a split mood, as it were. Um, is happy to be talking to you. Is likes being in the space, so seems very comfortable. But there is that undertone of displeasure from the events earlier. Um, Pink, I think, is just very quick in the conversation with you when she walks by, gives you the pleasantries of hello and it's good to see you and those kinds of things. But does wrap it up quick. Does not seem to be talking to a lot of people, but is making her rounds as usual around the place. um, Time passes. I'm assuming you plan to stay here pretty late. Is my assumption.
Yeah,
What's your? You have a clock out time?
um, I think Roshan will shut the place down, and
Mm-hmm.
his intent would be to try and start shit with a blind eye uh, if they made themselves known.
Yeah. Well, you spend time having a drink, enjoying pinks, um, something akin to hours pass, at least two, and you don't get to really be like initiating the kerfuffle because the kerfuffle is what you notice. Uh, you're like, ah, this way, and it is presented to you. It looks like three gentlemen, tall, bulky, annoying, just the energy that is just palpable off of their person. The thing that catches your eye first was Mood moving quickly in space. I think she is what caught your eye, and you follow her to where it looks like a couple bouncers are coming in from the sides to encounter these three men. Roll me another perception check now that you have eyes on the scene.
18.
Okay. Let me. You see the kerpuffle. The kerpuffle plain as day. Uh, Something else also catches your eye is that there is someone else who stands out to you is not exactly fitting into the space. There's the altercation that is kind of pulling in the focus of Mood and the bouncers. And there's an older human man, slender, late 50s, 60s, pale skin and eyes, receding hairline that is starting to like gray around the edges, wearing small spectacles, simple black suit. You can see on his hands, it looks like they're like old, faded tattoos, and a well-made cane that he walks with is sort of moving easily, simply against the crowd, making his way back towards where you can see Pink is standing, who sees this person. And I'm going to say with your passive insight, um, there is some distress from Pink seeing this man. So there are two scenarios, both alike in dignity.
Yeah, so I think could Roshan make a detour past past Mood on his way over to Pink, and
They are on separate sides, so this is like you'd have to go out of your way to do one or the other. They are not within like passing or like I was gonna say walking distance. It's a building. It's not walking distance. Sorry, but it is just it's like separate sides of the club is where we are kind of currently positioned.
Then I think he would make a split-second judgment, and one of these is more interesting than the other, and we'll head toward Pink.
Okay. Sorry, there was a thumpus by the door, which I can only assume is a cat, but but a thumpus nonetheless. You're making your way over. Do you have any intents, or is your intent just to like be in the space and observing at the beginning? What is, or do you just come in swinging? Like, what's your original intent? What's your just original intent when you see this old man?
His intent is to wingman if she needs it, give her an out, but just kind of observe and figure out what the vibe is.
Okay, so are you staying back a little bit, or are you like, and I'm next to Pink? I'm just trying to put your positioning.
I think he is visible to Pink within 10-ish feet, but maybe not to the man.
Okay, so you kind of approach more from behind him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me stealth. I'll give you advantage because you are in a loud club, and this man is walking away from you. Technically, give him disadvantage.
2 11s for a 15.
Okay. You approach from behind and kind of like try to catch Pink's eye and being like, "I'm here. Don't. You're not alone." As you can hear the kerfuffle sort of picking up on the other side of the bar, but Pink kind of glances at you very briefly and acknowledges you. And this man walks over to Pink and extends his hand outwards, to which there is a slight hesitation, and she places her hand in his for him to gently kiss. And you can see from behind him motion, like, shall we go to your office? And Pink smiles at him. And you can, from where you are, you can't exactly hear them, but you can read the lips well enough. Where she says, "Of course," and begins leading him to her office.
Roshan will telepathically whisper to her, knock twice on the door frame when you go in if you need help. And then, yeah, and then I think Roshan will just stay close.
Okay. Are you attempting to get close enough to hear the conversation, or are you just close enough that if you are called, you're kicking open the door?
I think he would like to. Oh gosh, that's so awkward for him. I think he would like to get close enough to try and hear, but also stay inconspicuous.
Okay, so go ahead and roll stealth for me again if you are trying to get close enough to hear. If you're not trying to get close enough to hear, you don't have to.
That's another 15.
Okay. It, what is your stealth modifier?
4.
Okay.
I'm rolling real average with stealth tonight.
Yeah. Kind of average across the board today.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us. You come close enough to listen. And you're like, you know what? It is. I'm not giving you advantage, but I will give this man disadvantage because he is on the other side of a door and it's a loud club. I can talk myself into that easy enough. Okay. You wait outside and listen. Go ahead and give me a perception check. This will be like how much you're able to pick up on because you're also in that same situation of other side of door and in loud nightclub.
That's a 22.
Okay. You're able to pick up snippets. You're able to pick up a good gist of the situation, I think. Um, the the issue is that both of them are incredibly soft spoken, that they both speak very softly and calmly to each other. So you're like, great, good. If you guys could get a little heated, that would be awesome. Thank you. But the conversation starts out with what sounds like pleasantries and then veers into recent events with the blind eyes and a request that Pink stop involving the authorities and just like, you need to stop. I need you to stop. It's in everyone's best interest. And says that he will go talk to them and will speak to Bottleneck and see if he can get this figured out. Pink is incredibly cordial and it is a lot of one-word responses. And at the end, you can almost feel her smile as she says, "Thank you. Have a lovely evening." And you can hear like the click of his cane as he makes his way over to the door. I'm assuming you back up and pretend to be cool and casual at a vague distance.
Yeah, Roshan will get like one layer deep in the crowd and then begin dancing.
Go ahead and roll. Fuck it, I like stealth. Roll stealth again for me to to be in the party.
16.
Okay. This man steps out, and you see glances around. And takes the space in for a moment. Glances like from the corner of the door, and then scans outwards. And then begins walking at his slow pace back outside. And just as he exits the building, it seems that 3 very large men kind of give up their fight a little bit and allow themselves to be escorted out. Not without a little bit of a fight, but it seems that they are now being able to be escorted out without too much of a problem. And you see Mood like just in a huff, like just like flatten out her dress and go over and get herself a drink after this is over. Pink has not come out of her office yet.
Yeah, I think Roshan will wait until mood has calmed down. Give her a good couple minutes, and then I think Roshan will. How does he want to hype up the crowd and make them feel good again? I think Roshan will mage hand just a stack full of gold coins and say, "Drinks on me," over to the bar and get the crowd riled up.
Yeah, easy peasy. That always works. If anybody was brought low by what just happened, they are brought back up again. If they were sobered up, no longer. And mood eventually does seem to like start to calm down, but seems shook about it.
Roshan will go over to her, and if she like place just a nice hand on her shoulder to kind of center themselves, and he'll smile at her in a way that service professionals
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge what's going on with a smile rather than saying anything.
Uh-huh.
And will say, well, those three certainly quieted down as soon as the man with a cane was done speaking to Pink.
Mood shifts immediately, and like hones in on you. Excuse me?
Roshan will just continue speaking in her head telepathically and say,
Holy shit. She looks into your mouth as it moving and she's like, oh, okay.
And say, oh, yes, a nice man who Pink didn't seem happy to see, went and spoke with her and told her to stop involving the authorities. And
Mood's
then
already
when
up, and like while you're still talking to her, she's like getting up.
I apologize dreadfully for listening in, but I wanted her to be safe.
Mood does not respond and just makes like a beeline for Pink's office.
Roshan is like, all right, am I going to get thrown out after they come out of the office or not?
Hey, walk into the office like you own the place. They can't throw you out if you own the place. Those are the rules.
You know, I think Roshan will walk in like he owns the place. It's too awkward to not just admit he knows everything, and will follow her in there.
Okay. You do kind of have to catch the door because, like, I think Mood doesn't really acknowledge you or know that you are behind her. So it's like that door swings, and you have to be like, you kind of have to body the door a bit and be like, and I'm here too. She just full swings it behind her, and you're like, ow, hello, I'm also here. Pink is still sitting at her desk, sort of quiet and pensive, and watches Mood barge in and you squeeze in behind her. She takes a moment and kind of, I think the scene she smiles at a little bit, and pulls a fancy looking bottle of some clear liquor out from a drawer in her desk and sets it up with 3 glasses.
Now, I apologize off the bat for dropping Eves, but I didn't like the look of him.
Mood goes over and begins pouring the drinks for everybody and like will pass them out. Pink takes a moment and takes a sip from her drink. You're very considerate. I appreciate that. You're just trying to do the right thing. No hard feelings on that.
I appreciate it. I am worried who this well-dressed man was.
You can see Mood like fidgeting a bit as Pink sort of takes one more sip and then sets the glass down. Um, his name is Bonwin. Um, he is a very well established and connected figure in Skull City. Not a person I would say with acknowledged rank and title, but one built through respect or intimidation. Um, is very involved with uh, the transporting of goods in and out of the city, and has connections in high and low places.
So I noticed that right as he left, the three troublemakers followed him out. They let themselves be taken out. I don't know if they're working together, but they obviously, well, it seems like they've been covering for him or something. Now, I'd hoped to run into them and force themselves to just come in and apologize and tell you exactly why they were doing this or targeting you. And I can still do that if they happen to come again while I'm here, but if that's the level of player that we're talking about, then I'm not sure what kind of information they'd have.
I once again I appreciate the sentiment, and I agree. Uh, it was, I'm assuming, a distraction of some sort. I'm not exactly sure why. I would not bar Bonwin from my place, as I am not foolish, but perhaps it was part of the intimidation of it all. Um, or to show perhaps that he is working with the blind eyes, and he used to be close to the original leader of the blind eyes, and he sort of, for a long time he has been very not involved personally in things. um I suppose he has set up his mechanisms and put his people in places he wants them, and things have just sort of run, and I haven't heard from him in years. Um, it used to be a joke that if you saw Bonwin, it's a sign of death. Um, and I don't tie into the superstition, but I understand where superstitions come from, if you understand.
I do. So he brings with him not only a reputation, but also the intimidation that I'm sure he's so carefully cultivated.
And my hands are tied. I will be um, cutting my communications with Leah and will no longer be pursuing anything with the authorities. So hopefully that leans in my favor. I won't stand against Bonwin.
Well, I know very little of him, and already I'd like to watch him take a tumble from the prefrontal. So, if you're cutting ties with them, please allow me and my friends to help. I think there are a couple who are looking into some items that could help us track lost shipments. But you could also help by letting us know a physical description and anything you know about the previous head of the organization.
You are very, what's the word? Heroic. It's very sweet. If this is something you wish to pursue, and I would say that you should not, but with that type of attitude, I'm not sure my involvement or not would stop you. And I will say you are losing my involvement. This can't be something done on my behalf. I will provide a description on the original leader of the Blind Eyes, but this all cannot come through me. I cannot have danger led here.
Well, then I will do my utmost best to work with the details I am given and become no more than a friendly face.
Of course, and if perhaps there are conversations to be had about everyday life, maybe those details will stumble into you, but as of right now, I am resigned to the whims of the denizens of the city.
I think Roshan will hold up his glass with one hand, and then with his other, he will just place a hand over Pink's and then just give Mood a tap on the shoulder and say, "Thank you for your hospitality." And I think the day is kind of catching up with him, and he's a little bit emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And will say, probably a little choked up, but say, "Well, once you let me know about Waylon, then I think this bar needs more drinks."
Of course, I think Pink catches that very easily, and her face drops a little bit, but will not be like, "Are you okay, sweet baby?" Even though you can see that that's something that that like dances across her eyes is care for sweet baby, and she's like, "Control yourself, control yourself." Um, and um, you are free to go about your business.
With that description.
Yes, you are given a description.
Uh,
Insert
Roshan,
description. It's here. It's a lady.
Roshan will commit that to memory, and then he'll go dance the night away. I don't think he will even really get tipsy, but he will nurse a drink the whole night and keep an eye out for more blind eyes. Although
Okay.
at this point, I don't expect there to be any.
So far as you wait, that seems to be the case. That nobody else seems to plague the club besides, I would say, the normal plagues of a club. The normal types that don't exactly get thrown out, but you still wish weren't there, perhaps. But nothing so intimidating as a gang member or a crime boss. So
Well, if
pretty
they're all
chill
small
comparatively.
fish, then Roshan will start shit with whoever and let somebody take their anger out, and then Roshan will put them in their place with a suggestion that they grovel to the bar staff and then walk home.
Yeah, some man who's just kind of too pushy, you start an altercation with, and when he gets up in your face, you tell him to go apologize to the staff, and he does. Okay. You don't even know if it's the suggestion or just the tone of your voice, but but he goes over there and he does it.
Great.
And the thing is, he's trying to catch each staff member, so he does get kind of stuck in it for a while, trying to get to each member of staff and apologize in a groveling fashion. And someone's just like, "Okay, man, like, shit," trying to like step over him. Like, all right, I forgive you.
I think after a rough day, that does bring a smile to his face.
Okay. Meanwhile, a couple hours ago, moving fluidly through time, uh, Nyx and Kel, you are currently holding the like sobbing, violently shaking body of Rose. She is just like fallen onto the floor, like caved in on herself, and is just incredibly emotional. Um, During this time, you watch as like the glamour sort of flickers in and out a couple times, especially towards the beginning. So Keld, you're able to catch that and see like just flashes of this like ichor tattoo across her face and body. And it's at least 10 minutes, at least 10-15 minutes that it takes to like get to some level of calm. Um, and I think after that, Rose is too tired to care that like two people are embracing her, and she just kind of quietly sits there, sort of just like sniffling and breathing hard.
Wore herself out.
Yeah. Oh, tuckered out.
And then I get up and go make the medicine tea.
Okay.
I think that'll help. Thanks, Nyx.
Rose will kind of begin to remove herself from the remaining hug, and will just sort of stay on the ground, but like sits back against the couch. And you don't see like you can see that her eyes are misty, but you don't see the tears on her face until she
Hmm.
like wipes at her eyes and like blinks, and it is like dark tears that she kind of just like prestidigitates off of her face, which you can't see, but
But
kind
I
of
see
moves
them
it away
come
from
off
her.
on her fingers.
Yeah.
And by dark tears, do you mean like ichor or blood?
Um
Something in between.
it's not blood, it is something between tears and ichor, closer to tears but like stained.
Hmm.
And she just sort of sits there kind of defeated. Just kind of just
Mm.
sitting there like, all right. Well,
Keld's trying to decide a good way to approach that. Um, I, I think he'll just remain seated in front of her give her a little bit of space. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on under that, but it looks pretty bad.
Um, and she kind of just does like a wave of her hand, and the glamour disappears. And instead of just like this short little bob, her hair's kind of back in this like uneven chop, kind of like when you had originally met Roshan, that kind of hairdo. And this this tattoo is probably covering like 60% of her body from what you can see. It's made its way over half of her face. One of her eyes is completely blacked out. You can see that like the corners of her other eye looks like it has some of this like darkness starting to set in like the tear duct. It goes across her neck and her arms. One of her arms is fully engulfed. Um, and you can see it sort of is stretched out like tendrils at the end, like it's reaching further. It's not good.
How did that get a hold of you like that?
You can see that there's a moment of where she is quiet, and you watch just her now fully resigned to the moment. She's like, and someone's like, whatever. I literally can't get any lower. Like that is the energy she is presenting. I couldn't get lower. Um, uh, I did this to myself. This was an attempt to alter my markings as Roshan had, but I did not have the assistance that he had, and this is my outcome.
Does Keld know the assistance he had, or is this beyond his realm of knowledge?
Let's pull Roshan into the chat. Does anybody know how your tattoos have expanded?
I think so. I think Roshan after it happened and he had to start wearing gloves everywhere. He
He's
mentioned
like,
to the
yeah.
party that he made a pact with the shadow and his tattoos grew.
Hmm.
But I do think that was probably before he met
Uh-huh.
Nix and Keld. So
Hmm.
I don't think they know that there was a starting point and it's changed.
It hasn't grown since we've been with them, so
Right. Keld's like,
Uh,
he must have had some good help. Hmm.
he had the assistance of the Keeper, I believe they are calling themselves now. Um,
Hmm.
the entity he is bound to. Um, I'm I'm happy for him. I'm glad that that worked out for him, and he is not in this exact situation. Similar but different. Um, and she just sort of looks at you like,
I suppose similar but different is adequate.
and I've already told him this. I told him that my time is limited. Um, a couple months, maybe tops, I think. Um, and he walks off.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he has been keeping such distance.
It's my fault. I just I worry if he knew. I I just fuck, I don't know why I do it anymore. I don't know why I'm like this.
Seems like you two have kind of been forced apart in a way.
I made that choice. Ave wanted us Ave wanted us to do this together, and I said no. He's not ready. I don't know why I did it. I don't know if it's because I wanted to prove myself or if I truly believed it or both, and I don't know
Could
if I
be both.
still believe it.
Hmm. By believe it, do you mean that he's not ready or that
I I don't know if he's ready. And now, because of my choices, I don't know if he will be. um, and also that extends to the keeper, what the keeper was prior. That person is not ready either.
I think I need to ask ready for what?
You can see that resignation to speaking freely starting to kind of be pulled back in. Like she's like he's like, ah no, Kel does one of those stupid faces where you just have to keep talking when he talks to you. She's trying to claw it all back in.
How dare he get me while I'm emotionally vulnerable?
We have a purpose. We've always had one. We were born with purpose. We were created with purpose. And it's just nice that we get to choose now, right? Originally, we were made to be energy for some witch, but we were still made. We have potential, and I plan to use mine. And I'm scared I'm going to be doing it alone, as I always have. And it's going to be my fault.
I think Kild's just processing
Hmm.
the emotion behind all she's saying. He's not sure he really has enough information to give a lot of input here.
Yeah. Uh, more of a sounding board scenario. Not really the facts, but the emotions of the situation.
Yeah.
And then there's Nyx with
It's like,
tea
this
in
is a
the
bit
entry.
She
beyond me.
brings it back out and joins the circle.
You all are sitting on the floor drinking tea.
Nyx
You
was
guys
kind
had
of like
a
waiting in the doorway for
The
like 2
vibes are
seconds, 3
ominous.
seconds.
Nyx is
but,
like,
yeah.
all right, I already know a lot of this, but
Nyx is like, we're hitting territory of things that I don't exactly know, so I'm in now.
Killed looks at her questioningly.
he sips the tea.
She'll start drinking the tea, and she's just like, once again, it's just like, well, kind of like giving up again, and is like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I'm sitting on the floor, and I am crying and talking to these people, and that's just what's happening now. And kind of once again, kind of falls back into that resignment.
Yeah, to be fair, Roshan's not the easiest to. What am I looking for?
No, whatever you're going to
Reach out
say is
to?
probably correct, and also mirrored back at him tenfold.
Hmm.
I've always sort of been that way. Not to this degree, but a deflector, a joke, sarcasm, changing the topic, moving it around. If I think it's going to be hard or not something in my favor, and now that it's something big, it's hard to change that now that the stakes have risen a bit. And how do I talk about that? And then how do I prepare for the disappointment if I'm right and he's not ready?
I think it's important to realize that that might not be under your control. And it might be up to him to decide when he's ready. Or
But you're really gonna have to be the one that tells him you wanted him to be here. Because if I go yell at him right now, he's not gonna listen and think that I'm just trying to force him to be here. When it's not what you want. And he's not really talking to either of us anyway, from what I've noticed.
no, he's been a little distant.
Mm-hmm.
Very into that Pink's place.
Oh, Pink's is great. That makes sense.
You can probably find him there if you want to talk to him.
No, the idea
have
of
a
leaving
hunch.
my home right now, the dread I am feeling and the embarrassment that is incredibly palpable beneath my skin. I'm probably in for the night to some
Are you
degree.
sure it's not that other stuff that you're feeling?
No, I'm much more used to that sensation.
Do I need to get Russ to do the thing again?
Oh, no, I have access to my medicines and tools here. It's just
Okay.
we've gone a bit past that now. It's more pain management, and if I did stop, I don't think I'd have the couple months that I think I might lower that number a bit. The month that I have, if I stopped using it, I think that time would diminish quickly.
Okay. So hypothetically, if I could fix it, would you let me?
No.
Okay.
Even though it is not the ideal situation for it, I thought I might end up a bit more like how Roshan ended up with his markings. I need them to be this way. They're amplified. They are stronger. If you were to fix it, they would be diminished, and then I don't think I would be ready.
Okay.
So
There-
I believe I could. I think I could fix this if I put my mind to it.
But you're
But
choosing not to.
yes,
So whatever this is that you're ready for must be important.
it is.
And can I ask how big is it?
Biggest thing I've ever been a part of.
Hmm.
Okay. I think that's what you need to tell him.
I don't think he much wants to talk to me right now.
But I think he does.
Yeah.
You didn't see his face before he left. I think I have pushed too hard.
Hmm.
To be fair, I was also still a bit addled when he was speaking to me before we left, and I didn't fully understand what he was asking me, and I think it took me too long, and what would I have even said if I understood? So I can't say it would have been different, but
Well, from what I understand, there's still some time.
Mm-hmm. And you can do that
So I wouldn't
messaging
give
thing.
up just yet.
I would just reach out to him right now. I don't think it'll change much, whether you wait for him to calm down or not. I usually just put myself in his space and start talking at him. So if you just start talking in his head, he can't ignore you.
Very true.
I hate this option and understand how effective it is at the same time.
As we're sitting in her space talking at
Yeah,
her.
you guys are way too close, and she's like at the couch, so she can't even like back up. She's like, "This is just what it is." We're all so very close.
It works really well.
I had been looking into rituals to possibly try and alter my markings to help them not exactly recede, but shift in a way that might be more uh, palatable for my body. But I'm not sure if I want to waste the time and resources on it when I think I can get to what I need in the time frame and then can deal with all of it after.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what you're talking about, and I'm not sure what you mean.
Rituals are really his thing. So, like, if you wanted a sounding board,
You just love, I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know what you mean. Valid and fair.
You won't tell us enough details to really help you. So
This guy knows rituals, and he don't know what you talking about,
He's
girl.
been so
Does he kind of understand why Nana was saying that she wasn't feeling like she was like super good friends with these two recently?
getting that vibe
Look
right
at
now.
them.
starting to understand what happened in the forest. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's very hard to talk candidly. And I'm not even bound to not speak about these things, and I'm finding it difficult. There are some topics I can't openly discuss in a straightforward manner. But there is a blood magic ritual that I could partake in, but it uses a lot of energy and resources. And it is something that I have been putting off also because I cannot do it by myself. Um, and that I think would give me more time. But I'm looking at the bigger picture, the bigger goal I want to accomplish. And I would rather focus my energy and resources on that. And then once that goal is accomplished, maybe I will have the time to fix what I have done here. And kind of motions to herself.
Okay. It was sounding like your big goal would end in death, so I was concerned about that.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know how that ends. And Roshan would ask me, and I'd say I don't know, and I don't think he'd believe me. Do I think that's an option? Yes. Do I think it's something more than that? Yes.
Mm.
well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really bad at keeping secrets, and now that I know this ritual's an option, I'm probably going to tell Roshan about it. And so you don't have to do that part, the blood ritual thing.
He's gonna hate you know about it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he still hates the fact that I was around you more than him when you were in our hometown. So it's okay.
I mean this so kindly and bluntly as possible. You get to know what you know because I I think you are cool, but I don't care for your opinion on the topic. Your opinion does not matter to me. His does. So I feel a bit more comfortable talking with you two, and at the same time, I feel the most discomfort I have ever felt in my life. But it is easier to tell you because I don't care if you think I am wrong or don't want to talk to me ever again. It would probably like bum me out a little bit, but not as much.
Kilda's just looking between them like,
What happened? You guys
No,
did
we're
stuff?
good friends. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Nyx was aware of my condition after the forest debacle and
I was
was
sworn to secrecy.
assisting me as best she could there because I was away from my medicines and I was trying to I was trying to stay because I wanted to be closer to him and I thought maybe, I could open up and I could give him what he wanted, and I couldn't.
You two remind me of that strange puzzle box he has. Still no idea how to get in there.
He has a puzzle box that he hasn't opened yet.
He's been working on it for months.
That's embarrassing. And she like laughs and then sort of like coughs and chokes and like spits out like ichor and prestidigitates it off of her hand immediately. You're siblings, but you're not in this situation. If you were doing something that you knew could be dangerous and scary, and you knew no matter what you were going to go through with it, but you were afraid that if you gave them too long to think about it, God, it sounds bad when you say it out loud. If you give them enough time to think about it, they'll end up saying no, but if you just say it at the right time, they'll say yes on impulse.
I can't say we've ever been in that situation specifically, but we've definitely gone through something, I guess, similar in a way.
I was a bit privy to your dealings with the hag. I had a good front row seat, a high spot in a jar, to listen to the proceedings.
Oh.
Uh, I don't know if I thanked him for it or not. I can't remember. I bet I didn't.
And what would you thank him for?
He used his hag deal to save me, which he shouldn't have. But of course he did. I feel a bit stuck.
I can see that.
And I'd prefer, it'd be great if I didn't have to get him wrapped up in everything. I don't want him wrapped up in everything. You are welcome to stay as far away from Sindri as you like.
See, but I don't.
They
I want to
both
go
look at you.
back.
Keld and Rose both look at you.
See, but I don't like how that ended at all.
Why do you say that, Rose? Sweating.
Which part?
For us to
Is-
stay away, I think.
I was
Yeah.
sorry, I was distracted by that whatever you were doing, like looks at Nyx. Being involved with Sindri is not necessary for what I need. His needs are fully covered, and once Russ is feeling better, that area will be covered too. He's already reaching out to try and find new employees. But
So you're planning to part ways?
I currently still intend to keep working with Sindri.
Hmm.
I just don't need him to. I don't need Roshan to work with him.
Oh, okay. Well, the feeling seems to be mutual.
I know this is about me, but you seem really like bent out of shape about like this topic in particular.
I just don't like it. That he's. I want to go back and talk to him about it. I don't like how that went. I'm not saying we had to work for him, but it seemed like he was kicking us out entirely, and I don't like it. Because he sounds like he doesn't trust any of us with anything.
To be fair, I think he was probably just using a blanket statement. I'm sure there's varying levels of
But
trust.
you don't know that.
I would put money on it.
That doesn't mean anything.
Like, you're right. On a scale, I think you are probably more trusted than your other compatriots. But I do not think you are 100% trusted, no.
Which is why I have to go back and talk to him.
How do you plan to change his mind? Say, well, you weren't involved with any of the Ave things. You weren't on the mountain. You're not bound to him in any way.
Exactly.
We're just connected to the individuals who are, though. Which I think is the issue.
Don't know.
I don't know if there's anything to be done about that, but I think that's just the facts.
Can share things I know. Point out that we're like family. He seems to care about his family.
He's certainly a found family individual.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of trade secrets are you giving? Throw your friends under the bus for a
I don't know if I'd call Dagwood my friend because she keeps trying to kill Russ every time she gets. So.
Uh-oh. What do you have on Dagwood? Like, she seems actually shocked by that. Like, what could you possibly have on Dagwood?
I know about a secret she has because I scryed on her once. What? Oh, you were there! It was right before she talked to you and agreed to join you guys when she was in her cell. You can scry on that area in case you're wondering.
Good to know. She like leans forward now and like closes the distance a bit.
Okay.
What did you see?
Well, I feel like I'm now gonna go share this with everyone.
If
She's
you
got
must.
some secret papers on her. I don't know what they are. I couldn't read them, but she's certainly keeping them a secret.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
You do whatever you think you must. I would personally give Dagwood a chance to work as she is prone to do. Um,
She didn't
But-
seem very prone to working when we saw her.
she does not present with work ethic, but the rate at which she accomplishes milestones is admirable. If I were writing her a letter of recommendation. Um, I won't stop you. I think I'd prefer that you didn't, but I won't stop you. It's your information.
What do you think, Keld?
A look of panic crosses his face at that.
I
no,
can make the
hey.
choice. It's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to give an opinion. It's okay.
Are we
I still
voting?
don't
Is
feel
this,
like
is
I
this-
have enough information to make an informed decision.
Okay.
Do we know anything about these secret papers?
See, I don't think so. I just kind of saw them,
Mm,
and no one's really talked about them.
So couldn't they just be
Reverse.
normal papers and you assumed they are secret papers?
It could be, but I feel like I should tell him about them since I know they exist, and since he does not like her.
What made you think they were secret? I don't
Because
remember
they
if
were
you
very
told me about this.
they were very secretive about how they took them out and made the words
Mm.
appear on there. It was all
Okay.
very hush hush, and then it was hidden away again before
Hmm.
they called you in. And then I got yelled at to not mess things up for her because I was there watching.
Mm. It sounds like you're messing things up for her.
Listen,
Yeah.
Mm.
she's not very kind to him after I helped her at the library.
I've told you I'm not stopping you. You do whatever you think you need to do to earn Sindri's favor. If that's important to you.
It is.
I wonder, because on one hand, I guess you could earn his favor somehow, but on another hand, that could also just be more reason for distrust. But I might be thinking about it too hard.
And I don't think he can not trust us much more than he already does. He already kicked us out of the family business, so
Let me into the family business. Put me in the will. Invite me to Christmas. I want to
I
come
just
to your
want to go to
party.
the holidays.
Fair.
I've
I
known
guess
you for
guys.
3 weeks.
And you're
I
really
suppose
cool.
there's not much to lose.
Exactly.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go over there. Mm-hmm.
By all means.
At least I'll talk to it first. I'll decide partway through.
Sure. Follow your gut. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. She looks at Keld as Nyx has kind of made a declaration of I'm gonna go do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should be there for that.
Um,
You want something to eat?
yes.
Mm. Keld will stay and make some dinner.
And I'm gonna go do a thing.
Okay. Keld, your passive perception's a 9 or 10, right? It's one of those. 10?
11.
Ooh. Look at you, this guy. This man right here.
But my passive
Oh,
insight's more.
what's your passive insight?
16.
I will continue as I was. Kel, you go into the kitchen, and Rose stays in the living room for a bit
Hmm.
and does eventually kind of like see you looking for things and will eventually join you to help you locate items in her kitchen.
Cool.
Nix, you begin making your way towards Sindri and his home. Uh, Roshan at this point is probably still like dancing at the club. Meanwhile, on a beautiful tropical island, Fen, Nana, and Rex watch as Corrine steps out towards the sand and like looks over at Rex and says, "Do you mind?" and pulls off her fur cloak, and she is wearing this like blood red bikini situation with a sheer black like skirt tied around it, dressed for the uh, I keep wanting to say dressed for the situation, and I can't think of a better word. So she's dressed for the
The
situation, which
occasion?
is beach. The situation being beach.
Occasion?
Uh, and she
Okay.
sort of takes her bag and like sets it down and like has a couple options if other people were so inclined. So she has a more like a couple more feminine presenting options closer to Nana's size, and then like a couple more masculine options in Fen size, and something maybe akin to Rex's size. Um, may have been grabbed on the fly. She's like, I don't have that man's measurements. I have everyone else's measurements. I have literally everyone else's measurements. Um, uh, if you're interested in enjoying the beach and partaking. Fen, we have a table nearby, but the two of you are welcome to enjoy the beach as you see fit.
Thank you very kindly. First time I've ever been to a beach that was warm enough to be welcoming in such a fashion, so I'll take advantage of that. Thank you.
Of of course, may I recommend? And she kind of points over to like a little like it kind of looks like a seller's stand. The
Mm.
fruit here, I wouldn't go without. Uh, and she looks over at Fen. Join me.
Of course, my lady.
And will allow people to, before she goes, take clothing from her large beach bag if they're so
Wild.
inclined. So,
Sure.
at least letting Nana and Rex get something before she's like, bye bye. And
Bye bye!
we'll start walking down the beach with Fen towards a very small beachside restaurant with a beautiful view of the impending sunset. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Thank you all for being here on my birthday. We love telling you
We got to the
story
beach
on my
episode.
birthday.
Beaches episode
Uh,
showed our birthday.
Thanks for being here. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Packs of Gods on Instagram. If you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook. Um, if you'd like to watch past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and see how we got here. Um, start from the beginning if you really got nothing to do. But if you're really like, yeah, what am I gonna do for way too many hours?
I mean, if you watch
Hey,
us on like double time, won't
oh,
take
I
that
only
long,
watch on double
surely.
time. I only do double time. You're welcome to watch past episodes there. You can also watch past episodes of Gossamer Vale, another campaign we run by Katie.
Woo woo!
Celtic inspired mythology.
Yes,
Uh, Celtic mythology inspired, better.
yes, yes.
Third option, we're there. Uh,
Hey,
we just are in the process of finding and killing bandits because they're bad and recently have finally run into a fight club, and we're all having a good time, and we all have a lot more money than we started with, and we've all now
Not
kissed
more
each
money
other
than
way
God, but
more than we did originally. So more
so
money,
much
more kisses,
kisses.
more problems.
Not as many
That's
bitches
what they
yet, but we're
say.
getting there.
Yeah, that's what they say. 99 problems, but kisses ain't one. Is
Exactly.
our current situation.
We
And
love
First, you get the money, then you get the kisses. That
Ah.
it kind of went in that order.
It did.
It's really
It
working
did.
out. Uh, yeah, punches, kisses, profit. But you
Yeah.
can join us Thursdays. We go by Thursdays, so every other
Mhm.
Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. But
Mhm.
not this week,
No,
but
no.
next week you can join us in our fun times at Fight Club
And
for
the
Gossamer
12th.
Vale on the
Yes, the
12th.
12th
I'll never look at the
cultists.
date. You just
I
have to
got you.
guess whoever's watching. You have to just assume on the day that you're watching that it lines up appropriately. Um,
Oh.
if you're interested in some beautiful dice that do beautiful dice things like tell a story and roll real good based on what the story needs,
Mhm.
is truly the energy. You could go to the link in the chat or the box below and get some new dice. You could get some customs for your character. You
Such
know,
as mine.
vibes. Follow
Very
your heart.
vibes.
Thank
Sometimes
you
they
for
don't
being
fuck.
here. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story. We'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.
Happy birthday, Jillian.
Happy
Hey,
birthday,
guys,
Julian!
did you guys know it's my birthday?
It's
Guys,
your birthday!
it's my birthday.